Hey everybody, my name is Onepeg MG, and this is another Tarkov news update. This time for 12/4/2018, December 4th, Tuesday. So anyway, Tarkov recently has been delving into the lore a little bit. They've been releasing articles that have to do with this Ninth Circle newspaper. Most recently, a few days ago, handful of days ago, they released an article that had to do with a gentleman named Sharon, because for whatever reason, there may have been people that were asking the question, what happens to the bodies that were littering all over the map? So they came out with this article for a gentleman named Sharon that pushes around a shopping cart, strips the bodies basically down to a t-shirt and their underwear as to not grab all of the valuable loot by which he would potentially get attacked, and then cart these nearly naked bodies off to a burial plot where he rather unceremoniously buries them. And when asked about this, he basically said, well, somebody's got to do it. So that was cool, I guess. I like the background lore. I'm a sucker for a good story, and I like that they're trying to shore up a couple of these little plot holes. The thing that I want to focus on for this is the newest release, which happened today, where they released an article of the Ninth Circle, which is article number 2, called An Unfinished Game. So the Ninth Circle, an unfinished game. I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously, because I want to keep this relatively short, but this article talks about this bar called Korova. I am sure that readers who are visiting the area of the former Combine, and Combine is referring to cartel in this case, know about the Korova bar, which is located in the building of the 3rd sweatshop. So an old sweatshop factory building, I would assume, somewhere in the city of Tarkov. This bar is famous as one of the few places in Tarkov that are free from weapons and open to all opposing sides. So anyone and everyone can come and drink here. You leave your weapons at the door, and it goes into talking about a guard named Theodore who keeps order from the 2nd floor through the scope of his mag. So somebody that's heavily armed, kind of watching things from the outside, keeping the peace, I guess. So this article then goes on to talk about a gentleman that was sitting in the corner with a bear patch on his shoulder, looking like he was playing a game of chess by himself. And then in walks a USEC trooper. Everybody gets tense. People think some stuff's going to go down. And then this USEC trooper, surprisingly to the author, walks over to the corner table where this bear is sitting, has a seat, and decides that he's going to participate in this game of chess. The story then goes on to talk about how these guys were really beat up. They ended up in a hospital camp run by therapists who patched them up. And while they were kind of in recovery, they were sharing a room together, gave each other a bunch of crap, then eventually tried ignoring each other, and then they both got bored. So they started playing chess, which, awesome. Great. So now every Wednesday they meet at Korova and they play chess together as long as they're both alive. So the author then goes on to say, I hope they're going to be able to finish up the round that they're playing and start a new one, because there won't be, hopefully a situation where one of them isn't able to come back to play this game of chess against each other again. So, kind of them answering the question as to, whether bears and USECs can play nice together. So, cool little article. I like the background again. There is a little bit of criticism that I have regarding this. You can tell by reading this article that it was not proofread by somebody that understands the English language as like their native tongue, right? And I realize that these things are being translated into multiple languages and it gets close enough. I would just recommend, if I may, that they either find somebody that is going to work on this on a volunteer basis to proofread this stuff and fix the contextual issues, or pay somebody. I don't really know. The issue that I see, so stuff like this: the blood was gushing, there was no time to think, and just near was the free hospital camp, which was managed by the therapist. So you have this sentence saying that there was blood gushing, there was no time to think, right? Okay, so there's like this really tense moment, and then right over there's this hospital camp that I can go to run by therapist. It kind of like kills the sentence a little bit. And then those who faced Elvira, who is the therapist, by the way, know that this is a sacred woman and won't leave anyone to rot. So you could easily just say those who know of Elvira know that this woman takes care of people and would never leave anyone to die, right? Or you know, take your pick. There's a lot of different ways to run a descriptor on that, but the tenses are a little bit off. You know, saying that she's a sacred woman. Sacred in the English language more refers to people that are, you know, more godly, you know, more religious, or are inherently a focus of that religion themselves. You know, like a sacred artifact is something that is treasured, but is usually treasured in like a religious connotation. Thus, they ended up on the adjacent bedding in the same tent. So what I have noticed from translations, you know, having read this stuff over and over again, is when they go from Russian to English, anything that is like formal or like referring to an actual a noun or something like that, it's the therapist or the bed, or it's not like a bed, or thus they ended up on adjacent bedding. It's the adjacent bedding, right? There's always like that precursor. It's always the something. They tend to do that a lot in like item descriptions. If it's an object or a person or, you know, some type of like you know, noun, right? Like physical presence, there tends to be, it's like the noun all the time. So yeah, not that I'm like the most amazing proofreader in the world, but like certain contextual things like this, I just feel like they could be, you know, done better, right? Anyway, so I'm done with all of that. I like that they're doing this. I like the background. I like the lore. Like I said, I'm a really good sucker for a good story. My only hope is that they look into doing a bit more proofreading for each of the larger native language speaking communities, you know, like us, and then obviously all of the different languages in the EU, and now South America, where there's going to be, I'm hoping, a larger influx of Spanish speaking folks to fill this out a little bit more. So that's essentially what I've got, guys. Not a whole lot going on. If something changes, I'll be sure to do another update here in the near future. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to check me out. I very much do appreciate it. In case you were wondering, I do have a Twitter right up there. Bang. I also have a Discord, and I stream on Twitch almost every single day. There will be links right down there someplace in the description. Please come and check me out. I swear I'll be as nice as I can be, although I am pretty sarcastic, as most of the members of my community will tell you. So if you like sarcasm and really off-color humor, I highly recommend you come and check me out. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll check you later. Peace.